the Soviet Union during the World War I was part of an alliance called the Triple Entente. This alliance was later called the Allied Powers. The USSR joined the war because of their long-time alliance with Serbia. And during this time, the Soviet Union was considered to have the biggest army until they lost most of their battles. And well, after they exited the war because of the Brest-Litovsk Treaty with Germany, they had a Russian civil war going on. And Vladimir Lenin led the Communist Party in the Russian Civil War, and then he took over the control of the government. During this time, legal equality of men and women was established. And also, the Soviet Union wasn't part of the Paris Peace Conference and the Treaty of Versailles because of the treaty they made with Germany, because the Allied powers thought of this as treason. After Vladimir Lenin died, Joseph Stalin took over the control of the Communist Party. Well, in the USSR under Stalin, the children were manipulated to think that Stalin was better than God. And he also fed them communist ideas and put the children into youth communist groups. And the secret service in the Soviet Union was called the NKVD. The NKVD enforced internal laws and terrorized civilians. They gathered enemies of the Soviet Communist Party, and they put them in camps and executed them. Also, the USSR's involvement in World War II was very important for the Allied win. The Germans lost the war, their war inside the Russian territory when the winter came.
During the Cold War, the Soviet Union wanted to spread the idea of communism around the world. The Soviet Union was part of the Warsaw Pact that was originally composed by the Soviet Union, Albania, Czechoslovakia, and other eastern countries.
The Soviet Union is also part of the veto powers with 4 other countries in the Security Council. It was involved in all of the proxy wars for the purpose to promote communism in all the active countries, such as Vietnam and Cuba. The USSR was also involved in the Cuban Missile Crisis to move the rockets to Cuba and be able to fire into the United States. The USSR benefited greatly from the space race and was the first country to put a man out in space, even though the USA put the first man on the moon.
In 1988, the European Court of Human Rights became the last court of appeal for citizens from the Soviet national system of justice.
The European Court of Human Rights is used to suppress political persecution. It has also delivered more than 10,000 judgments. From the court, they monitor the respect for the human rights.
The Soviet Union was a socialist federation where the Communist Party stated human rights all over the Soviet Union. Political and civil rights were limited by the government, like freedom of speech. Today, they are not able to say whatever they want, but they have progressed throughout the years. Personal property of land was also restricted. Mainly all the land was from the government, but now they can have little land.